Dillon Danis gonna do the fight. I gotta tell you that. I mean, he sent out a tweet earlier in the week that says, "I'm over this SHI asterisk." Now, we understood that that was fully meant to make us speculate, but if you were to speculate, you'd be very fair to say he's not going to do the fight, because we were thinking that anyway. Why were you going to go fight a guy who's suing you? And why would you do that? On one hand, he's going to give you money that you're earning the extremely hard way. I can't really think of anything too much more difficult than going into combat for money. I can't really think of too many things. And then that guy has a plan to take it back from you. It's in place. It's in motion, right? It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. In all fairness, it is. Dillon says, "I'm going." Dillon did a spot with Ariel, and they have a back and forth. And Ariel either doesn't get it a little bit. Ariel gets everything, but there are times where the characters can get flowing, and Ariel either doesn't get it a little bit, meaning 95% of Ariel gets it, right? He's a very smart guy. Ariel gets it, but there's something he's missing, or he gets it to such a high degree, he'll make you think he does. And I'm just saying, like, Ariel and the way he behaves to Dillon actually makes me a little nervous. I like watching their stuff. I don't think I've missed it, but I do watch it a little bit nervous. There was a spot yesterday where Dillon told Ariel, "Hey, I want to make up, man. We're good. We're good." And this was after they had a very nice talk. And Dillon even said, I was in a dark place, had this knee surgery, and, he was talking about, he really let some stuff out. Very calmly, very politely, very likably. He recently had a son, and he spoke about that, how amazing fatherhood is, and this is his first child, and the son's a month old. He says, "I haven't even named him yet." He said, I want him to have a really cool name. I don't want it to be something Aryan like Ariel, which I thought was a funny spot. And Ariel graciously agreed. And Dillon said, "So I got so many things going on. I want to give a full focus to his name." Only point out, this was a different interview. This was a different Dillon. This is a much softer side of Dillon. It was very likable. And at the end, so you got to understand that happened. A very nice interview took place. There was a moment where Dillon told him, "Shake my hand." I don't think you have to correct me. What I watched the entire thing. I'm speeding up. But there was a point, and Ariel refused to do it. Now, Ariel was not doing it from a perspective he didn't think he could trust him. I'm going to shake his hand, then he's going to attack me. The old pro wrestling, right? Oh, you kicked in the gut. There's a stone cold thunder. I understand that, but it made me nervous. And it made me nervous because I was self-projecting. That's my thing. And I don't have many of them. But if I go to shake your hand and you don't shake my hand back, we now have a problem. And I can't do anything about that. I do not brag to you. I admit that's a character flaw. Put your hand down and walk away. I don't know how. I don't know how from this point, and I don't know how to put it down. If I did, I would. I never would have come here in the first place. I don't know how to do that. We now have a problem, and I don't think I'm going to put it down and walk away. I think I'm going to put the other one up, and I'm going to come forward. I mean, it's a thing. And I'm not the only guy. And I could tell that Dillon had in him a little bit of what I had in me. Because he said, "Shake my hand." He offered it very graciously, and Ariel refused it. And Dillon didn't back away, and he said it, "Shake my hand." And I was so nervous watching this, I wasn't sure that Ariel was hearing it the way it was being said. And he said it a second time, "Shake my hand," which now makes for a third time overall. And Ariel did shake his hand, and guess what? He meant it. It was very gracious. He shook his hand. But it was just one of these spots where, man, maybe Ariel doesn't know that rule. Maybe that's right? Because I don't know where that came from within me. And then I saw Dillon do it. I thought, this is because we're wrestlers. Anytime there is a problem, when the problem is over, like it or don't like it, when it's over, you shake hands. And you drop it forever. You don't go in the back and find the guy. It is over, like it or not. And you learn that from a little age. And never in the history of ever has that not been enforced. And there are guys that have tried to storm off the mat. And whether it's the referee that grabs them or the coach grabs them, they will physically return that person and they will touch hands. And I'm just bringing it to you, like, it made me nervous when Ariel didn't want to shake his hand. And I thought, oh, partner, you're taking this too far, or you think he's taking it too far. And Dillon doesn't. He's given Ariel some wonderful moments, not to mention he goes in studio, not to mention when he's not there. He is the butt of a lot of Ariel's jokes. Now, Ariel, like a man, if he says it about you when you're not there, you're free to come on. You can come on via Zoom. You can come in person, and he will say it to you again. So it put Ariel in one of these spots where he did have to be a little. He had to bring that same energy as Kamaru Usman told Ben Askren. And I thought my old partner lived up to that. But there was a where, hey, either way, easy way or hard way, that dude's a killer, and you're Ariel. So one thing that's never been considered, and I'm not sure it's even been considered by Dillon himself, is what happens if he wins? Because he had told Ariel that he believes after this match is done that he'd like to go over to the UFC. He's told that Bellator sold. I've heard that rumor myself. But when he spoke about this, and when Ariel accepted his answer or even asked the question, I don't believe either of them took it from a perspective of what if Dillon wins? One thing about a fight is all chips are in at all times. There is no I'll see you, I'll raise you. Whatever's in your pockets, whatever you have collected in those pockets over the history of your life is on the line. And this fight's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. If Dillon Danis wins with the lawsuit and the situation of Logan, I'm trying to think of her name. I had the foggiest idea. They have to stay married forever and ever. Like, he not only has to marry her, they have to be married longer than anybody's ever been married. Death and beyond. They have to be, or Dillon wins. I mean, this is such a unique situation. And what, you're going to continue to sue the guy that just whipped your boyfriend's ass? Let me tell you how that's going to go. Dillon isn't going to be needed to pine himself between Bellator and UFC, and he's not going to do that. He's going to have to sit back and figure out which one he wants to do. The first one's going to be calling him up is Vince. He will take that WWE spot. Logan will have it too. Logan's doing a great job. I'm just sharing with you. Vince has a history of this. They were bringing in Mike Tyson as special guest referee until he got knocked out in Tokyo. They scanned Tyson. They brought in Buster Douglas. Didn't even think twice about it. Nobody even knew who Buster was, but that's the way they rolled. You live the gimmick, you live the character. Tyson was 5 times more famous. You live the gimmick and you live the character. And it's one thing that's really never been considered. What happens if Dillon wins? He will be the one then going with Jake. Jake would love that. Oh, Jake would love that, right? Little brother would love to get over on big brother in some fashion. They're the ones that told us that. Told us that in the Impulsive interview. And it's one thing that's never been taken into consideration by any of them, and I don't think that includes Dillon. And I've been in that spot where you hear something so many times, you see the signs or somebody, you move forward. It's one of these things. Dillon's life is going to be very different with a win over Logan Paul. I don't know that anybody could outbox a non-boxer and gain more than Dillon could in this particular situation. And Dillon's smart. He'll use it too. Dillon will beat him. He'll flip the script. He'll go to WWE. He'll partner with KSI. He'll start his own energy drink. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you don't know what he's going to do. But I don't think he does either. I don't know that's really been considered. Like, hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, sure, I understand that we will. But I'm going to go ahead and look into a crystal ball and make a prediction for you. And it doesn't have to do with who's going to win the fight. We'll get to that sooner or later. But I'll remind you, this isn't a little bit. This isn't the titles up maybe. This isn't to a TV time limit. There are no coal miner gloves. You go into combat, you're all in, all of it. The record, the titles, everybody you beat. Everybody around you, your fan base, your t-shirt, everything is on the line. Dillon isn't looking to just interfere and promote a fight. He's not looking to just win and follow through on his word. Dillon's in a position to take it all.